Welcome to the YouTube interviews, the effects of the COVID-19 on the arts and beyond. My name is Brian Murphy. We have a very special guest today, and before I actually say her name, I want to share with you her information. Very important for this generation going through what we're going through. She owns Solutions in Motion, a college and career consulting for dancers. Cydney Spohn, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. How about you, Brian?
Very good, very good. I love this, by the
Good.
way.
Thank you for having me. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes. I love the way this looks. And I know you've been doing this for how long now?
Just over a year.
And how is things going for you?
Well, it's a newer business to begin with, but my model from the start was to work with national clientele. So I've been working on Zoom since I started the business and doing mostly, long distance emailing, Zooming, phone calls, teleconferencing, that sort of thing. So with the COVID-19 and, the stay-at-home order, that hasn't really changed so much of my business. With working with high school students who are thinking about colleges and the dance programs and, trying to find their way or their next steps even in the dance world, to also, professionals too who might need some assistance. So, in terms of meetings and operating that way, things haven't changed. But what has changed a lot is the conversation.
Talk about that. Give me an example of a conversation that happened before this situation, and then how that changed to what it is now.
Yeah. So one of the things I do are career workshops for dancers, and we talk about dance entrepreneurship and sustainable careers in dance. And so there's a lot more to dance than performing, right? Which
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Look at all, you went from performer to, you're an educator, a choreographer, an artistic director, right? Your career has evolved over time.
Yes.
So, we have that kind of conversation, and we try to open up the eyes of students, young dancers, to see, hey, you know what? There's more to dance than performing. Maybe you want to perform right away, and that's great. But then, how is your career going to evolve? And, how does maybe college fit into the picture? Maybe you want to go to college right after high school. Maybe you want to wait and do it later. But the big part of the conversations that's changing is those students who do want to attend college and are seeking dance programs at in a university setting. Just a lot of uncertainty. So, we don't know yet if universities are going to be open in the fall. Some of them are talking about waiting until 2021 to
I didn't know that.
open back up. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. No one's made any final decisions. It looks like summer classes won't be going on, but it is questionable about what's going to happen in the fall. So what our conversations are focusing on, well, what is in your control right now? What can you do right now? And maybe you want a plan A, maybe you want a plan B. If programs aren't opening or universities aren't opening until 2021, what could you do between now and January? So I'm trying to empower dancers, particularly high school students, to think proactively in this uncertain time and think about options. The more options a dancer has, the less likely a dancer will be sort of left with, the uncertainty and, if you want to call it, a failure or
Yes.
or having to change tracks, change directions at the last minute. So also opening up the idea of, okay, you're a dancer. Maybe you identify yourself as a dancer, but you're also a human being. So what are the other things in your life that are important to you? If you can't dance right now, what can you do to serve the community, to improve yourself? What kind of professional development can you do right now? How about, exploring other dance genres or other dance artists that are in a genre that you've never been interested in? We tend to follow people that we like, or the type of dance styles that we like, but what are people doing around the world that might be a little bit different than what's in your direct field of vision right now?
This is great. So you said a lot there. There's a lot. There's a
I
lot.
did.
There's a lot there. So let's
There's a lot.
maybe there's a lot going on. And I think if you if I was one of your clients,
Mm-hmm.
and are there certain particular steps that you're going to say, do this right now first,
Mm-hmm.
and then let's take the next step after? What would be the first 2 or 3 steps you would suggest before you go on to this big or all these other ideas?
Right. Yeah. Well, I don't really tell dancers what to do or tell clients what to do. What I try to do is have a conversation to open their minds to what might interest them. So maybe to answer your question, the first step is, well, okay, let's talk about all the things that you do have in control right now, what you can control. And so one of the things I actually do in a career workshop is I ask dancers to write down all the things that you're good at and all the things that you like to do. So it's not, yeah, and it can be dance related, but I also want things that are not dance related. So
that's interesting.
Even little things like maybe you like to take the dishes out of the dishwasher, and put things away. Or
interesting. Yeah. Okay. Well, like cooking. You like cooking.
Maybe
That's
cooking.
Something you like. Yes.
Maybe spending time with family. Do you like to organize? Do you like to social media? A lot of people love social media. And that's actually a skill in and of itself. So it's starting to open up the minds of students to see, okay, what are the things I like to do and what am I good at? And then we can talk about, well, how does that apply to dance? How does that apply to the field possibly? Or maybe other related fields in the arts or in business. It's a conversation.
It is.
And
so let's talk about more we can start to end this here and talk a little bit more about what is in. So as far as I know, you can be a choreographer, you can be a dancer, you can be administrative. It seems it's almost overwhelming with so much stuff.
Yes.
And asking the questions of, okay, what do you like? And then maybe what do you like about dance? And then going from there. It's probably difficult to be able to get us to think smaller, maybe. Or do you want us to think broader? How? Because to think smaller, you have to kind of go like a tunnel. Okay, and then there it is. But how? It's hard to get to that spot.
Yes. I think it depends on the individual and where they're at and how they're handling the situation. So to think smaller, like to funnel and try to maybe take baby steps towards some sort of goal might work best for some, whereas others do need to think broader and think of themselves broader. So it really depends on the individual. But even thinking long-term goals, like rather than thinking right now, we're struggling, I can't dance right now, or I can at home, but I can't take classes with my friends or with other dancers. Those are the things that are out of our control. But sometimes it's better to think long range. What are your ultimate goals? What is your goal 10 years from now? Where do you see yourself, or what would you like to be doing? So sometimes if we just jump ahead, forget about the present, jump ahead, think 10 years down the road, what do you think you might be doing at that time? And then there's really no pressure on the present and what we're doing now. We're thinking about, down the road, And what are some things right now that we could actually do to help us 10 years down the road? So we can't
Yes.
do a lot right now, be
Correct.
proactive to change things right now, or to maybe acquire a goal that we want to achieve. But there are baby steps we can take towards our
Yes.
future.
I love that. You
Yeah.
you took my words in my mind right out of my mouth. Taking those baby steps
Yeah.
will be essential.
Yeah.
And
I mean, a lot of,
to be patient. Just know
yeah.
there's a bigger goal ahead of you.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because right now, in hindsight, hopefully we'll look back and say, this was just, maybe it was a full year out of our lives that we were really affected, but hopefully we'll have learned something from it. And we can look back and say, well, after that, I realized, I could adjust and make changes. And out of that came some good things. But, it's hard, particularly for younger dancers to see that right now. So the baby steps, if you're taking little baby steps, little baby goals, they all add up.
And you know what? And I completely concur and agree with everything you've said. And I think that even because there's an urgency feeling, they feel like I get everything done now, but that's not the case. And it's going to be okay.
Yes.
It's okay if you take the baby steps, because there is a feeling, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? But we're so all into this together that to be just mindful.
Yes. Yeah. Be present.
Be present.
Be present in the moment and the things that you can do. Taking a class at home, doing a ballet bar in your kitchen is a good thing.
Is a good thing.
Or doing Pilates with Brian is a good thing.
It's a good thing, right?
Yeah, right.
It's okay. Go ahead and try it. Yeah. So I want to finish this by putting your information up again, because I think that your information is so valuable. It's so important right now, Cydney. And
thank you.
And I want everybody to look at this clearly, and it doesn't matter what your age is. I think that she will accept a call from anybody if you have any questions, right? I mean, I think that.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I work with dancers anywhere from the ages of like 14 to, I have a client who's almost 60 right now. So at any stage of your career, at any stage of your education, I can help out.
Well, thank you so very, very much. I really appreciate you doing this. And this was a great pleasure for me. I hope that you enjoyed it as much as I did.
Thank you, Brian. I enjoyed it too.
Yes.
Thank you for having me.
And I'd like to revisit this. I'd be curious, because this conversation 3 months might be a little different.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it might be a little different. So, all right, my friend. I appreciate it. Have a great day, okay?
You too.
Yes, okay. Bye-bye.